Today's Crumbl Copycat cookie recipe is going to make you feel like you're either at Costco or in an amusement park. We are making the churro cookie. What is up, you guys? It is Karli here, and you're officially cooking with Karli. Now, this churro cookie is one that has been requested over and over again, and for good reason. It is delicious. If you love cinnamon and you love sugar together, this cookie is going to be a home run in your book. So what it is a nice cinnamon and sugar, like snickerdoodle type cookie base with a cinnamon buttercream frosting swirled on top and then topped up with a little bit more cinnamon and sugar. So to make this cookie base, we're going to start out with some butter, granulated sugar, some eggs, vanilla, all-purpose flour, some baking powder, and some cinnamon. These cookies are super simple, but they are absolutely delicious. I actually really like them on their own and with icing. So this is like my go-to snickerdoodle recipe. So we're going to start by creaming together the butter and sugars in our stand mixer here. And if you want all of these specific ingredient amounts, just head to my website. It's in the description below, and you can find all of the recipe amounts there. So the butter is in, our sugar goes in, and we're going to cream this together until it is light in color, fluffy in texture. Now that that's done creaming, we're going to add in our eggs and our vanilla, and then mix that until it's well combined. Sometimes you need to scrape down the sides to make sure everything is mixed together, so you may need to do that with your cookies. All right, lastly, the dry ingredients go in. When you start mixing this, make sure to mix it slowly at first so that all of this flour doesn't fly out everywhere. And then our cinnamon and baking powder. You start this slowly and just mix until it comes together as your cookie dough. So the cookie dough is complete. It's nice and soft, kind of like Play-Doh would be. It's definitely not dry, but it's not gonna stick to your hands or your scoop at all. So I'm going to grab my cookie sheet and some cinnamon and sugar, and we're going to get to scooping these out so we can pop them in the oven. So we're going to scoop about 1/3 of a cup of dough for each cookie. And this handy dandy scoop that I have is just a little bit more than 1/3 of a cup, so just not going to fill it up quite full. Obviously, if you don't have this scoop, just use your 1/3 of a cup measuring cup to scoop out and portion this dough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop the dough and portion it out. I'm gonna roll it into a ball here and then flatten it. These cookies will expand a little bit, but not a whole bunch. So you're gonna wanna make it into, you know, like your finished cookie you'd want it to look like about that thick. So it's like half an inch thick. And then once it's flattened like that, we're going to press it into our cinnamon and sugar and really get that cinnamon and sugar all over it. And then once the cinnamon and sugar is on and it's flat, then we're going to arrange it on our cookie sheet. We're going to put 6 on a tray, and this will make 12 cookies. While I finish up scooping out, rolling the cookie dough, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos. I have a new Crumbl Copycat cookie recipe that comes out every single week, and I also do taste tests of Crumbl's weekly flavors, so you can request which one you want the recipe for. We have a lot of fun over here, so you don't want to miss out on any of the fun. And if you have any special requests for me for cookies you want me to make, just leave that in the comments below. Our cookies are ready for the oven. They are going in a preheated 350-degree oven. They're going to be in there for about 12 to 15 minutes. You'll know that they're ready to come out of the oven when they've spread a little bit and then the tops and centers of the cookie don't look wet and glossy anymore, and the cookies will puff up a little bit. That's when you know they're ready to be pulled out of the oven, and then we're going to let them cool on the pan while we make our cinnamon buttercream frosting. I just pulled the cookies out of the oven. They are cooling right on the pan, which is really important because that helps cook the rest of the cookie on the inside for them to sit on the hot pan. So leave them on the hot pan while we make our frosting. So the cinnamon buttercream frosting consists of just some butter. This is salted butter, powdered sugar, cinnamon, and then some milk, and that will just help us get it to the right consistency. So what we're going to want to do throughout this entire process is to keep it at a nice frosting consistency. So we're going to kind of alternate in between the powdered sugar and some milk just to keep it the right consistency. We're going to start by creaming the butter until it's just smooth in our mixing bowl here. Just go at a slow speed and just keep your mixer on a slow speed this entire time, and that will help us avoid getting extra air into the frosting, so it'll be a nice creamy thick buttercream frosting. So I'm just going to mix this butter, and I'm going to start adding in a little bit of powdered sugar at a time, about a cup, and then add in just a little bit of milk to help bring that frosting to the right consistency and bring it all together. And then we'll add in some more powdered sugar and just keep going back and forth until all of our ingredients have been added. Now, for the milk, it really depends on a lot of things, like the temperature of your butter, if it was totally room temperature, if it was still a little bit cold. So just add a little bit at a time. You're not going to probably use all of your milk. A question that I get a lot with buttercream is if once it's frosted on the cookie, if the cookie needs to be kept in the fridge because there's milk in the frosting, and the short answer is no. Long answer is no, because there's so much sugar in the frosting that it actually stabilizes the milk and makes it so it's shelf stable, just because of the chemistry behind it. So this is okay to sit at room temperature. Now that all of the powdered sugar is in, I'm going to add our cinnamon here, mix that in, and then get the right consistency with our milk. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to just scrape the sides and scrape the paddle really fast to make sure that everything is combined, so we have some butter cream that hasn't been mixed in right there. So I'm just going to make sure it all gets mixed in equally. So our frosting is now done, and we're going to put it in a piping bag with a just round open tip, and we will frost our cookies, sprinkle with a little cinnamon sugar, and then they're done. If you don't have piping bags and piping tips, you can definitely use like a gallon-sized zip top bag and just put it inside of that, and then snip the corner and just pipe straight using the bag. That works also. We are ready to finish off these cookies. So I have the frosting here in the piping bag. We're going to just pipe these in a swirl. So starting in the center and working our way out in a circular motion to frost the cookies, and then we'll sprinkle it with a little bit of cinnamon sugar. And these churro cookies are complete. And that is how easy it is to make Crumbl's churro cookie. They are full of cinnamon, full of sugar. They are definitely sweet. So next time you get the hankering for a churro and just have the ingredients at home to make these cookies, this should be a no-brainer. Just make these churro cookies. You are going to love them. And for the taste test. Whoops. Seriously, there is no better cinnamon sugar cookie than this one. This is so good.